Okay, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today on a specific piece, sort of following up on Netflix's live-action One Piece.
Right.
I mean, that show really landed well, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Huge success.
Yeah, loads of praise everywhere. People saying it brought the world to life, faithfully, but also felt kind of fresh and exciting.
Totally. It's genuinely being talked about as, like, one of the best anime to live action attempts ever. And, well, for good reason, I think.
They nailed so much.
Yeah.
The look, the
Fucking
vibe.
Feel, yeah. And the Straw Hats dynamic really captured that.
Exactly. And speaking of the crew, that's where our focus is today. We're looking at this source material, this article, that argues something specific could make Season 2 even better. It's about Zoro. Roronoa Zoro, played by McKenyu.
Yes, and this piece makes a really compelling case, I think. It argues that while Season 1 gave us this great, undeniably cool Zoro,
Yes, you did.
it may be held back on a key part of his personality, something fans of the manga and anime really love.
Okay, so the core idea we're digging into from this source is bringing more of that element in for Season 2.
Yeah, specifically a certain type of humor.
Right.
Yeah.
The argument is that it's not just a minor thing.
Yeah.
It could actually, really enhance the character and maybe the whole show.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Zoro is, the epitome of the serious swordsman. Super loyal, incredibly skilled.
He's second in command, the muscle you count on.
Definitely. And McKenyu absolutely brought that intensity, that coolness. Season 1 nailed that part.
He really did. He looked perfect. The fights were great. But this article is saying, well, what makes Zoro Zoro for so many fans isn't just the badass stuff. It's how that seriousness sometimes crashes into, ridiculous situations.
Right. And that clash creates this very specific kind of humor. It's not like he's telling jokes.
No, not at all.
It's more that his reactions, or just his quirks, become funny because he takes everything else so seriously. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Like, the humor comes from the seriousness, almost.
Precisely.
Okay, so what kinds of moments is the article pointing to? They must give examples from the source material, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The big one, the classic, is his terrible sense of direction. Legendary.
Yeah. Gets lost all the time.
All the time. Even, like, on a straight road. The article brings that up, how absurd it is. He's this unstoppable warrior who literally cannot find his way.
It's inherently funny because of who he is.
Exactly. And then there are more almost slapstick moments mentioned. Like, apparently he gets stuck in a chimney at one point.
Yeah, seriously. Stuck in a chimney, the formidable Zoro.
Right. Peak physical comedy, but with the most stoic guy. It works because it's him.
Okay. What else?
The article also mentions that time he accidentally, strangles Chopper. Tony Chopper, the little reindeer doctor.
Oh, right. In all the chaos, he just sort of scoops him up wrong.
Yeah. It's pure accident, born out of confusion, which makes it funny because he's usually so protective.
It's the opposite of his intention. And they mentioned his reaction to Pika's voice, too.
Oh, that's a great one, yeah. You've got this huge, imposing villain, Pika.
Looks terrifying.
And then he opens his mouth and has this ridiculously high-pitched, squeaky voice.
Right.
And Zoro, he doesn't react with fear or anything. He just bursts out laughing, can't control it.
Which totally deflates the moment.
Completely, in a really funny way.
So the article's whole point with these examples, the getting lost, the chimney, strangling Chopper, laughing at Pika, is that these moments, they don't make him weaker, do they?
Not at all. The argument is they do the opposite. They make him feel more, human, more relatable.
And just more fun, frankly.
Adds layers, contrast to the serious face all the time.
Which Season 1 did have that little nod to him getting lost early on, finding Kaya's mansion.
A tiny one, yeah. But
Right.
mostly, it was the focused intensity, the cool factor.
And the article suggests that was probably, intentional.
Seems likely, yeah. The source suggests it was maybe a smart move. We'll establish him first. For people maybe new to One Piece, let them see the cool, formidable swordsman. Make sure everyone gets that he's a serious threat.
Before you show him, getting stuck in small spaces or wandering off in the wrong direction.
Exactly. Lay the groundwork. But now
Now that we know him, now that the audience gets who Zoro is.
Right. Season 2 is the perfect time, this source argues, to start weaving in more of that specific humor, that other side of his personality.
And they even say the upcoming stories kind of lend themselves to it.
Yeah, that Pika scene, for instance, that's from arcs that would probably land in a second season anyway. So the opportunity is right there.
It really makes you think, though, about why this is important. Why add this humor?
Well, the article argues it balances him out. Stops him being just, one-note intense.
Makes him more approachable.
More accessible, yeah. More relatable to the audience, but it's more than just that.
Okay.
Adding this humor, the source suggests, just makes the whole show more fun and, this is key, more faithful.
Faithful to the original Zoro, the one from the manga and anime.
Exactly. The character fans have loved for decades. They even kind of float the idea that the live action could potentially do it even better.
Better than the anime.
Well, maybe by weaving it in more consciously, making that duality, the serious warrior and the guy who gets lost, feel really integrated, capturing the full spirit, not just the cool poses,
Huh. Interesting. Okay, so let's just quickly recap the main takeaways from the source material we've been diving into.
Sure.
Netflix's One Piece Season 1. Huge success. Gave us a great Zoro, strong, serious, cool.
Uh-huh. And that was likely deliberate. Established that core image, especially for newcomers.
Right. But this source argues that version may be missed, or, well, put aside for later.
A really key part of his personality from the original manga and anime.
Which is his unique brand of humor.
Yeah, the humor that comes from him being super serious, or famously just completely unable to navigate.
Right. And the article points to classic examples we talked about. The chronic getting lost.
Uh-huh. Straight roads, no problem. Actually, big problem.
Getting stuck in chimneys, accidentally bothering Chopper.
Or just finding things like Pika's voice absolutely hilarious. Moments that make him feel more real.
And more fun.
Definitely more fun.
So the core suggestion here from the source is Season 2. Perfect time.
Ideal timing, yeah. Introduce that comedic side. Especially since upcoming plots, like Pika, offer natural ways to do it.
And the so what? Why does this matter? According to this analysis, it's not just about balance or relatability.
No, the argument is it would boost the fun of the whole show, make the adaptation feel even more complete.
More faithful to those character dynamics fans love.
Right. And maybe even possibly enhance how we see that duality in him compared to the original anime.
It does bring up a bigger question, though, doesn't it? About adapting characters we love.
Yeah, like as these shows go on and characters get more established, how important are those little things?
Those seemingly minor quirks, like a terrible sense of direction, or laughing at a squeaky voice.
How much do those details actually matter for deepening our connection, for making a character feel, well, authentic?
Is faithfulness really just about hitting the big plot points, the main character arcs?
Or does it rely just as much, maybe even more, on getting those small, humanizing details right, the things that make them feel alive?
Something to think about, I guess, as we wait and see what Season 2 brings for Zoro and the crew.